It's not going to be an amazing day, but I think it's amazing to see all of you here. And I know it would make my dad very happy. He was a special man. He was a special kind of man. He loved fiercely, and he loved ferociously, and he cared about people. He never put himself first. And I think it would make him very happy to see all these beautiful faces, all these beautiful people who loved him in the same room. So we'll just take this day to celebrate him, celebrate the man he was. Thank you all for being here. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to our family. And yeah, we'll just take this day to honor him and to honor the love that he left behind. So we're going to start out. We have a pastor here who's going to share a message with you and some songs that I think my dad would love. If you knew my dad, we all know you love music, so we get some live music, so hopefully you'd be happy with that. And, we'll just take the day to honor him in whatever way we see fit. Thank you.
I hear a son say to a bunch of people, thank you for being here. And I got a feeling that each and every one of you don't need to be thanked for being here. The reason you're here is because you had to be. That's important. Being a pastor, there's nothing worse than doing a funeral with 3 people in the room at the end of a long life. This guy was 10 years younger than me. Dirty Boots crowd. Tile setter. Craftsman. But more than anything, I want to dedicate a song to Gina, okay? Can I do that?
Yes, sir.
I may seem a bit unconventional, and if you're thinking that, you're absolutely right. You might be familiar with it. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If you got a load that you can't carry, I'm right up the road and I'll share your load. If you just call me, here we go. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. 'Cause we all need somebody to lean on. Well, I just might have a problem that you understand. 'Cause we all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on, lean on, lean on. Woo! Yeah, radar. It's fixed on you. No matter where you go, and no matter what you do, God's radar, well, it's fixed on you. Fancy. You may be in the north, well, he's fixed on you there. And you may be in the south, y'all, he's fixed on you there. And you may be in the east, he's fixed on you there. And you may be in the west, that's the best, he's fixed on you there. 'Cause he's fixed on you everywhere. God's radar, it's fixed on you. God's radar, well, it's fixed on you. No matter where you go, and no matter what you do, God's radar, well, it's fixed on you. Oh yeah. Woo-hoo. Now the reason I did that one is because, thank you. The reason why I did that one, I felt the brotherhood and sisterhood in the room. And I thought, well, we got a few recovery people here. And that's always a good thing. My dad, he died at 55 years old. He was a career alcoholic. And the coroner said that's what it was. He drank too much. My mom died at 59 in my home with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer. And I know what it's like to lose somebody you love deeply, desperately. You hoped in, they were friends, came through, and you look at the world that we live in and you go, what is wrong with everybody? I mean, in Southern California, we treat stoplights, like the red ones, like it's a suggestion. And people constantly cut me off and cut in front of me, and occasionally they give me the universal, I don't like you sign. And I think, what is wrong with this world, man? And when I see this, I'm confronted with it. Confronted with it. And so many of us are just toxic. And we can't figure it out. And we can't get out. And so we cope. Some of us cope. We have our coping mechanisms. And we're creative with our coping mechanisms. Can I get an amen? Amen. We can manage 100 ways to Sundays to ruin our lives. It's real easy. I mean, I think I got a PhD in stupid. And the weirdest thing is I never had to take a class. I just, took to it like a duck would take to water. I could do that. It's not hard. I like what Woody Allen said. He said, I'm not afraid of dying. I just don't want to be there when it happens. And none of us will ever be prepared for a day like today. We weren't. I wasn't. You weren't. We weren't prepared. And the same thing is true when we come to that last breath you and I take. When we step off good old planet Earth. And I was looking at the ficus tree out there. Anybody see that ficus tree out there?
Awesome.
Yeah, there's like 70 feet tall, at least. And my wife said that they've been in the ground as long as she could remember. And she's only so many years old. And I look at that tree, and the weirdest thing is, you look down at the seed, and the seed is like small for that tree. And I want you to know that in Gene's life, God's been trying to into his life a lot. And if we could put all the love in this room and his family and those who've gone on before, if we could put all their love into a bucket, it would be like a drop in the ocean for the love that God has for Gene. And thinking about that ficus tree, I was reminded by the book of Romans when it says this: that which may be made known of God has been revealed in the created things, in creation. And so I hold up the little ficus tree and take everything you know about agriculture off the table. Pretend like you don't understand. And just wrap your mind around this. I get a ficus seed, I hold that sucker up, and you look at it, and I tell you, you know what you can do? You can take this seed, and you dig a little hole, and you stick it in the ground. Just walk away. It'll turn into one of those. And I know what you would say, because you're incredibly philosophical and logical people. You would say, whatever you're smoking, I'll take a pound of that. I mean, that's seriously the kind of thoughts that go through it. But God, it's God's way of saying there's more. There's something more for you. Something incredible in the offing. Something greater. See, we think like out of a womb, into a room, then put in a tomb. That's what we think like. But God's saying you're like that ficus tree, man. You're just the seed right now. And we're told that even our body is going to change. That's why the gardener in the Garden of Gethsemane, the gardener was there, and Mary rolls in and sees the gardener and then goes over to Jesus' tomb, and he's not there, but he's standing there, and she's assuming he's a gardener too. I don't know if homie had a leaf blower on or what was going on, but she supposed that he was a gardener too. We'll change. You know what I'm shooting for? I want Fabio's body with that, I want that incredible hair. I'd like to be a little taller, maybe 6'8". You can see me. That's what Howard looks like now. So wonderful. We're going to hear about how Gene was a great guy. And that's the evidence that's in the room. He's a great guy. But there's something else. There's more. There's something deep inside each and every one of us. You're a 3-part person. I don't know if you know that. See, I can look at you and see if you're tatted up or if you're way too skinny, and I can come to some kind of analysis. But that's not who you are. That's just what I see. But then there's the other part. Like, you can be incredibly pretty on the outside, but then you get to know them and they're just ugly. Or you can be incredibly unattractive on the outside, get to know them, and they're one of the most beautiful people you've ever met. See, there's more to you than what I'm looking at. Or even when I get to know you, there's more to you than that. There's a deeper part, and it's called your spirit. And for so many people, that spirit just kind of lies dormant. We deal with life on 2 different levels: physical, emotional. And we can protest and argue and vote and do all those things. But how's that working for you? Our world isn't getting any better. I've walked it a few years. I can say with confidence. But I know this, that God wants you to be whole. Spirit, physic, emo, He wants you to be whole. You know why? Because he created you in his image. It says male and female, he created him. And then he created Adam and Eve. You remember that story? And if you ask a Jew, hey, was that literal or was that figurative? And you know what a Jew would say? Yes, absolutely. That's what it is. Literally figurative. Or figuratively literal. But what we hear is he put them in a garden and he says, of all the things that you're going to do, the one thing I don't want you to do is eat from that ficus tree. Okay? I don't want you to do that. And so, they get it in their heads. Maybe God's trying to hold out. Like maybe there's a better thing here. And so what do? They go over that tree and eat the fruit. It was called the tree of life. And the weirdest thing is, as soon as they ate, and I would love to get into a time machine and port myself back to that moment in time, and I would love to slap them both. Because they introduced what's wrong with this world into this world. Talk about, we're all from a dysfunctional family then. But God in his infinite wisdom figured out a way to save us without us. And we can still have a choice. And this is a confrontation I hit you with today because there's coming a day and it's going to come sooner than you'd like. And you can't stop it. And it just happens. And I'd love you to be ready, man. I'd love for you to wouldn't you love to just die with like confidence? And you're looking at somebody that's seen a lot of people die. But I'll tell you this much. Mama died with confidence. She actually said, we took her out onto the porch and I was over off the foothill. And it was beautiful sunset. You could see birds flying. It was gorgeous. And she was in a wheelchair, and my best friend Art was pushing the wheelchair, and we stopped her out there. She took one last look at the world, and she said, boys, turn me around, I'm done. Whoa. And even the people that were caring for her palliative care in those last days said, I've never seen anything like this. I said, what do you mean? She said, it just seemed like she just let go. So I came up with a phrase on that. Never heard it before. Here it is, get ready. Let go, let go. Oh. Pretty inventive, isn't it? So anyway, some of the folks are going to share, and I'll close it out. And remember, we celebrate his life. Yeah? We celebrate his life. This isn't too shabby. Thank God for Gene. Let me pray. Father, I just pray for all my friends here in the room. And Lord, we have no need to pray for Gene because we know that he's in your care. And we know that you know him and you love him. Lord, I just pray that when we walk away from this day, would remember and would walk differently. In Jesus' name.
Wow. Well, just want to say that was amazing. I'm sure I wasn't the only one crying in this room the last 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, that was a really beautiful message. Thank you for sharing that with us, Pastor. We now have a slideshow we're going to share that my sister put together, just some photos, memories from the last, so many years, and some songs that we thought you might have liked too. So we'll go ahead and share that with you guys now.
So I just want to say thank you all for being here today. It's really cool to see how many people are here for my dad. His slideshow is a collection of moments throughout his whole life. You may have heard this story from him, but if you haven't, I'll share it now. I kind of got started with photography when I got into it when I was 9. My dad got tickets to go see Weezer at a Green Album release party at a bowling alley in Costa Mesa or Kearney Mesa, and he gone to all these concerts with Jeff to Lit, and honestly I was jealous. I really wanted to go, but I was so young when you guys first started
I was
going
very
to
mad
those.
I didn't get to go to this one.
Yeah, I was like 6 or 7 when they were going to these. And so this one happened in 2001, and so I was 9. And so he brought me, and I just remember that was like the most awesome day, and he had a little disposable camera, and you know, just like, oh, have fun with it. But while I was there, you know, just some random people, security, they're like, oh, you're a little kid here? Like, you're the only kid here. Like, what? And so they're like, well, come up here. And so they sat me down in front of the entire crowd. And I just sat in front of Rivers Cuomo the whole time, taking pictures. And since then, I think, I just, found my love for remembering those moments. That means so much. So it meant a lot that I was able to put this together of my dad's life. I learned a lot about him putting it together, and I hope you guys all do too. Starting to get everything started. I'm sure I've got my. Okay, there we go.
Lights.
So in the light space. Thank you so much. Oh, hold on, wait, I'm sorry.
Like the pine trees down in the winding road, I got a name, I got a name. Like a singing bird in the broken toe, I got a name, I got a name. And I carry it with me like my daddy did, but I'm living the dream that he can't be. Moving me down the highway, moving me down the highway, moving ahead so I won't pass me by. Like a north whistling down the sky, I've got a song, I've got a song. Like the whippoorwill and the baby's cry, I've got a song, I've got a song. And I carry it with me and I sing it loud. It gets me nowhere, I know they're proud. Moving me down the highway, moving me down the highway, moving ahead so I won't pass me by. They're gonna go there free. Like a fool I am and I know it me. I've got a dream, I've got a dream. They can change their mind, but you can't take the pain. I've got a dream, I've got a dream. Oh, I know I could share it if you want me to. If you're going my way, I'll go with you. Who led me down the highway? Who led me down the highway? Who made it hurts a lot more testify? Who led me down the highway? Who led me down the highway? Who made it hurts a lot more testify?
When that storm comes like a hurricane and the sun seems far away, we will not fear the wind, we will not fear the waves. I can feel your calm within. When this life is shaken by raging seas, we are not gonna be afraid. So if you want on waves and wind, hold my hands and I'll walk again. This love is stronger than the blood that beats my heart. This love is deeper than the pain of all these scars. This love goes farther than the hope that answers all. This love is stronger, it's strong enough for me. Our sorrows, defended all our pain, oh that we might rise again. Restore my sickness, rested in my disease, oh that I might rest in thee. And you alone bring healing, for you I wait. We are not gonna be afraid. If you walk on waves and wind, hold my hands and I'll walk again. It's stronger than the blood that beats my heart. This love is deeper than the pain of all these scars. This love goes farther than the hope that answers all. This love is stronger, it's strong enough for me. We may be crushed, but we are not. Maybe struck down, but we are not ever destroyed. And when that fire comes to shine, be your glory, we are not gonna be afraid. This love is stronger than the blood that beats my heart. This love is deeper than the pain of all these scars. This love goes farther than the hope that answers all. This love is stronger, it's strong enough for me. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry guys, look, I could climb trees down in the winding roads. I I gotta be.
Great.
It was great. Absolutely great.
So, thank you everyone who shared pictures, to make that happen. Nicole, you had a lot of pictures in your Facebook that I went around. Thank you over the years, like, maybe it'd be okay with me just grabbing them. So,
Yeah, no worries.
yeah, thanks to everyone, cool stuff. And, you know, I think probably for me, both my brothers, to see kind of who my dad was, but his whole family was life. So, with that being said, we're gonna go into some time for reflections. Jeff, are you ready?
Yeah.
Would you like to share any words?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you Jared and Caitlin for doing a good job. Slideshow team. I know pretty much everybody in the room. I got here more times on my hands than I can count. We made some things. You guys have all been there with me and my dad and done, you know. And yeah, he was definitely a larger than life person. Today is a day that I've always feared for. I love my dad very, very much, as you all know. Moving up to Idaho 2 years ago, I did not expect such a sudden event. Moving up there, I wanted to provide for our family what we never thought achievable, which, I mean, we were doing pretty well down here, but I was trying to, you know, take things a step further. I had plans for the future, you know, for him to be part of it. I had ideas of building a house with him helping me, even though I probably didn't really want him there. but at the same time, I was thinking in my head, how could I do it without him?
Oh.
You know? We would work together. As you all know, it kind of went full circle for us. To the point where I became the one that was the boss, I guess. I guess. Sometimes I would think he would be, you know, be a thorn in my butt, and I'd be waiting around for him and stuff. But man, he was something else. He was teaching me things all the way till, you know, he was gone. One night I was doing some flooring in his house not long before he passed. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I putting flooring down in your hallway right now? But that's just how he was wired, you know. And I was kind of trying to put the flooring down fast, you know. So I was like, yeah, this doesn't matter right now. And I was trying to go off a pattern. And he was like, hey, you put a full down already. Break up the pattern, you know. I thought he wasn't paying attention. He certainly was. But yeah, I believe we can all be masters of our own destiny to an extent, you know. We can only micromanage and control only in so many areas of our lives. I was always constantly trying to do that. But I believe God has a plan for my dad and for all of us. Although he endured many hardships, and he never gave up on his family, doing his best to raise his kids after growing up in a broken family himself. I'm grateful. Oh yeah. Well, as you all know, he taught me to work hard, very hard, more than most people. I spent every winter or summer break, any break really, working with him. And over all those years, I developed into the man I've become. And to be honest, I wanted to be there working most of the time. You know? There's some people didn't want to, but I don't know. I always would be intrigued to be there with him and to learn those things. My brother, I felt like a lot of times he would come with us, but you were smart. You didn't want to be there, you know? I didn't like it too much. There's no way I would have found the success I have without the jump start that he gave me in the world. I quickly found that at a young age I was far more advanced than most guys in my trade and doing what I did, and still to this day, even more so than most guys twice my age. I can think of a few other people in the room. He was a great grandpa and he loved his grandkids very much. When they were born, I saw an old light come back on him and shine. And I know he found great comfort knowing what a great life he had ahead of him. I'm grateful for all the times he took me fishing, shooting, riding dirt bikes, going to concerts, and I guess even changing transmissions. The work ethics and values he taught me are instilled into the man I have become. And because of that, he will always be a part of me, and he will be with me anywhere I go. I will always continue to work hard for the both of us and to honor your legacy. I love you forever, my father. Whoever would like to speak now? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Jump out of there. That was, I don't know how I'm going to follow that up. That was really amazing. Thanks for sharing that, bro. That was really special. I think it summed up a lot of who my dad was and what his life was, what was special to him. I thought I'd be more prepared for this moment and try to write something out, but I figured my dad usually wasn't too prepared for things in life either, so I'm just gonna, roll it the Helms way, I guess. I did write a few notes down at like the 11th hour last night, so bear with me. I'm just gonna kind of speak from the heart here. I think that's what you would want. So last night, we're staying in the same Airbnb that we stayed in a couple months ago over the summer when my dad was sick. So it's special. We're in the same place that we spent time with him, my uncles and I and our family. And, it's nice being around those memories that we made this summer. One of my favorite, really, the only thing he was really, wanting to do while we were there, though, was go out on the porch and smoke a little bit, if you knew what I mean. Take a smoke break. And so last night, I was like having a hard time thinking of what to write, and I was like, what should I do? I need to sit down and think about this. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll just go out and have a little smoke break like my dad did. You know what I did? I went and sat out in the truck. And again, probably, like we heard earlier, there's creative coping mechanisms, right? We can get creative about the ways we cope with things. So I'm like listening to music. I have my AirPods in, full blast, like I'm trying, whatever, it's a hard night. And I'm sitting there just, trying to think of what my dad would want me to say, what the best thing to say to honor him would be. Meanwhile, I was trying to be all discreet. I don't want to wake up my family and my uncles and everything. And so that's why I was trying to go outside and be on the porch. So and it was just like a little vape pen, okay? So it was like I was going to set off the fire. So he's in college. I'm in grad school. First off. I'm gonna be in that.
That's
So,
cool.
yeah. Thank you. So. You know, I'll get around to that, but he always believed in me when it came to that. So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to think of what you would want me to say, and I'm listening to his music, I'm crying, and I look up and my uncle comes out, my Uncle Sid comes out, and he's like, I look up, I'm like, what's going on? Like, why is he out here? And he's like, dude, the alarms are going off in the Airbnb right now. I was like, no, you're lying. I thought you were messing with me, honestly. And he's like, yeah, like, what happened? And
That's like a moment my dad would have to share.
yeah. and I'm like, and then I walk out, and then my other uncle and my grandma, so to speak, was coming out, and I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh my gosh. And like, yeah, my uncle Nathaniel's like, I thought someone was breaking into the house. The alarms are going off everywhere. And I'm like, so I go walk back to the room that I'm staying in, which is the same room he was staying in, actually. It's kind of cool. And I'm like, great, so now I have to sit here and write this speech now after all of that, and dealing with that anxiety on top of everything else. So then I'm like sitting here like, what do I write about? And you guys are probably thinking like, why am I telling this story right now? Why? It's because my dad really loved to tell stories. So I figured I would tell you guys a story in his place today so we could have a little bit of his spirit alive.
Yeah.
And like my brother said, I think that's something that would have happened to him too. Maybe he was just sending me a little bit of bad luck for me, or whatever. I don't know what it was.
That's funny you brought that up, the smoke alarm, because I can meet that story with another story.
And so my dad lives on.
One time we were on a Fisher house, we were all shaving each other's heads in the hotel, and the smoke alarms went off. We all went out in the parking lot, and we were all in the middle and shaving each other's heads. Nikki and Carl and Nick were there. They were great too. Everyone. People thought we were crazy.
You are.
So a little bit of my dad's craziness gets to live on, and the way these stories are just popping up right now as we're standing here and listening. So anyways, my dad loves telling stories, so, sometimes I would get sick of hearing his stories because he would tell them time and time again. And now I realize I think I'm going to miss them a little bit, But that's okay, because, I'm here and my brother and my sister are here to keep those stories on, keep that legacy alive. Taught me how to be a man, taught me to be the man I am today. And like Jeff said, maybe I didn't like going to work as much as he did, or whatever. But
You worked with us.
right before I signed up for community college, I mean, it had been a few rough years in my life prior to that. Dropped out of high school, wasn't. I remember my dad told me, he's like, hey, you can either go to school or you can work, but you're not just going to sit around and do nothing. And I was like, dang. That's kind of what I wanted to do, but all right, that's fair. So I went to work, and I went to work with him for a few years, and my brother, and it was hard. It did kind of suck. No, it didn't suck. But the thing is, I miss it. I miss those days. I miss working with them. We had a lot of great memories, even if we were fighting and bickering. Most of those people fighting and bickering. Show up on the job and breaking up. But I told him when I was enrolling in classes, I said, Dad, I got this idea, like, I'm going to try to go to school to be a doctor. I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't know how I got the hunch. I just wanted to help people. I wanted to help people that had been through the hardships he had been through, and our family had been through. I wanted to change that for somebody, maybe along the way, just one person. So that was my dream, and it seemed like some weird, crazy fantasy. And Jeff was like, bro, if you wanted to go to school and be a doctor, you should have started out with 10 years ago. You just dropped out of high school.
I said you were shooting for the stars there, buddy.
Yeah. That's what you told me. My dad said, you're doing it. He said he thought I could make it. He always believed in me. He said, I believe in you, bud. I know you'll do it. And it was a rough year. It was a rough year seeing him get sick and go through the things he went through. He never deserved that pain and that suffering, because he had so much of that in life already. But he was strong and he never let me see him afraid. Even if that meant that he stayed silent sometimes and we just didn't talk about it, he wanted me to see him as being strong. And that made me into the man I am today. And I got to tell him that. And, you know, right before he passed, I got my acceptance to medical school and I got to share that with him. And that was something really special, that he knew where my life was heading. And, you know, going through the medical system like we did, there's, as we talked about earlier with the pastor's message, there's so many, you know, evils and inequities in the world, sad things that happen to good people. But it shouldn't let us lose hope and for helping each other and for being there for one another. Because that's what this world is all about. And if there was one thing that my dad stood up for, it was for being there for other people. So, you know, looking back, he just wanted us all to believe in ourselves. He wanted us to be confident, to go for our dreams. That's why he told me that he believed in me, that I could do it, even when I didn't believe myself. Until the very end, I was like, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get in medicine. I'll probably have to reapply next year. He's like, no, I know you're going to. I'm just waiting for the email, blah, blah, blah. And he was the first person I got to tell. So he always believed in the people he loved. And he had spent so much time fighting for the people he loved, for fighting for everyone else. And he didn't really stop to think about fighting for himself a lot. But it goes to show, just looking out in this room, the impact that had, seeing all the people here, all the beautiful faces, all the people that loved him. So even though he didn't stop to care about himself as much as he should have, all of us here never will, and will always have that love to carry on to the world for him. I love you, Dad. Sorry.
We're getting through it, guys.
Yeah, I just forgot I was supposed to do something. So now we're kind of opening up the floor. If anyone would like to share any stories or speak as well, feel free to. No pressure. I think that's the next thing on the agenda. Is that right? Yeah. So yeah, floor is open if you would like to. Yeah.
He was the hardest working man that I've ever seen in my life.
Is that right?
I think a lot of people here will agree.
Oh.
He was in the 1990s, and the guy knew how to do a lot of things. And just to name a few. He could speak fluent Spanish. He was an expert on history, and especially about Native American topics, because he had a Native American background. He could fix your car. He could build your house. He could do anything with a boat or fishing or anything like that. He had a head for numbers. Before we all had cell phones and everything, we had a math problem we're trying to figure out. We asked Gene.
Yeah.
He could figure it out. He didn't know how to do it. Figure it out. So that's what I'm doing about you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That means a lot.
You want to see?
Keep doing that open mic. Carly, would you like to come up here and say something? This is Carly.
It's okay. It's not scary.
Do you want me to help say it? Okay.
Come up so we can see you.
Yeah, here. Walk over here. I'll sit right next to
And
you.
we'll start by taking a deep breath first, okay? We'll count to 3. And then we'll take about probably 1, 2, 3. Deep breath.
All these people love you. You don't have to be afraid of that.
We would love to hear whatever memories you have about Papa.
You want to talk about it? Go ahead.
So one time my dad and Papa was at work and my friend was over and my friend was over and she went in the room and
Your friend went into the room when Papa was over.
Dad
Or your dad.
my dad and Papa was at work
Your dad and Papa were at work.
and my friend comes in the room with no one and he knocks Zazu off.
No, and your friend knocked Zazu off.
I'm like, we're trying to get him up and my friend is like, here, I got a broom, I'll pick him up with the broom. And I'm like, but that won't work, and Zazu keeps on wandering around the house walking. And my mom's trying to call like Dad, and he just says like, pick him up. And we're trying to, my mom, and he started walking up in my room, and I'm like, get him out. So mommy had to close the door while we're in the hallway. And in my room, and she picked him up and she started freaking out. I'm trying to put him back, and he had finally put him back. And then another story, one time we went to the park, he was visiting out inside of him, and I thought of the game playing tag, because I loved the game tag. And we played tag for a while, and I was like, Papa, let's play tag. And he was really great at tag, and he was the tagger, and he kept on jumping off like the rock climb, and I tried to run, and no one kept on getting tagged, and he's like, no, I don't want to be tagged, and I'm like, oh, where do I go? And he jumped off the playground on Marley, and I'm like, where do I go? And then I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna get catched and stuff.
How long were you able to escape him? I bet you got caught.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. All right, that's still pretty good though.
Yeah.
I was
Without
trying
your
to dodge
He was a
him.
quick runner.
Yeah.
My mom, I always beat my mom.
You can be mom, but not papa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that all you wanted to share? We went,
One time
fishing.
we went fishing one time with him, and one time while we were visiting one day out here, we went on a walk with him, and
It was nice to just do normal everyday things together.
It always play with you guys.
Some of those
he
things
was
are
great.
special.
You know what I'm gonna tell you guys if you guys weren't good?
Gonna get a spanking. Did he ever spank you though?
No.
No. Yeah, I don't think I ever got it. I was the youngest, so I was pretty easy. Thanks for sharing those
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah.
That was-
Good job.
That you shared all these things about him and with all his friends.
Proud of you.
He loves
So is-
Charlie. He
It's
loves
okay.
you.
Finish the ones. You sit next to your dad.
Good job.
Does anybody else like to share or say anything? You can come up here or you can say it from wherever.
Spent a lot of time with Gene working.
Yeah.
Kyle, Billy Stone, years and years. All around the Fisher homes, through like putting trailers. Best time I ever had was. Good job. Oh, it's so cute. Best thing right now, the country. You cross the roads. You go to Chicago. I was going to Illinois. So don't forget to make that one turn after you miss it. You go and get her back. I'm bringing my car down to Indiana. The only problem is in the middle of winter and blizzard. You gotta drop the boat, you get home, out to Indiana, just stop the boat. Came back around, fix it up, drive down. Those road trips are the best memories. And music was even better. Well, you got to share with that. Yeah. Last one, the belly up we went to. That one time, Look. Where's this music?
Thanks for sharing that. And you loved your, where I know you were like a second dad to him,
Well, that's how your kids grow up.
I know. It's weird how quick it happened, right?
I'm having you guys at the house too, and I stayed at the house.
Oh, he started his first slab yard in your driveway.
He was pretty small.
That was before he got his first shot.
The Dolly Parton pinball machine. I remember playing that thing for hours and I'd be over there hanging out. And then he had like I don't know, like just some posters on top, a beer sign above the pool table. It was definitely like the man cave, but.
Probably got a contact high at 9 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, so then second and probably third band, but, yeah, he would always talk about how much he loved pinball and the bowling alley his dad used to run. And the kid would sit there for hours on that.
We like shooting pool, we had the pool table set up in the house, you know, and drink beer and people. I was up to no good at the time.
Still up to no good.
Oh, what?
No, I'm just
Alright, I'll hand it over to you.
You guys are so. So, beyond what has been said so far, I'm Sid, by the way. I'm Gene's brother. Our dad had married to 3 ladies, and I'm lady number 2. I love my mom. And this is my younger brother, Mateo.
We had a wily grandpa.
He was busy. So beyond the things that have been said, just some first for me with Gino. Trying to trick me into eating fried worms when I was a kid. Remember that? Making fun of I'm gonna say a retarded kid in the neighborhood. That was funny. His name was Brady, by the way. He could be Brady his whole life. And it was funny. It was objectively funny. He says, "What are you doing, dear?" And I can hear it now. Tommy fish. Tommy to shoot. He taught me how to start business. I came out. We were at Conrad's place. He taught me how to cook biodiesel. So I started several companies, that one and several others after that, and it worked out well for lots of people. I started with me.
I didn't realize.
Just 2 more things, because I suck at this. Keanu Reeves was asked by Stephen Colbert one time, "What do you think happens to us when we die?" And he said simply, I know the ones who love us will miss us very much. And he did it more than anybody that was in my whole life. Anytime I believe him, anytime he was going to depart from someone he cared about, he would say goodbye to you, and I loved you multiple times. And he was emotional about it. He couldn't let go of people's love. He's the only person that's ever done this to me my whole life. I don't know who taught me this. I'm lucky to this to you. But he gave me a big hug, and he kissed me on the neck. No one's ever done that to me. I'll miss him very much. Thank you.
All right, I'm Gene's youngest brother. My name is Nathaniel. So came along a little bit after Jeff and Caitlin. Both Jeff and Caitlin are older than me. So we sort of grew up almost like cousins in a lot of ways, like how your cousins are around the same age as you growing up. And I was living out in Oklahoma and sort of like in the middle of nowhere, like I was in a really, really small town. And when I was maybe like 7 or 8, Gene started flying me out to San Diego to spend my summers with Caitlin and Jeff and Jared. And, you know, I had never left like small town Oklahoma, so it was just like a crazy like culture shock for like a child, like going from like middle of nowhere to like stepping out into like, you know, California, right? So like there were so many things that as a child that I wouldn't have been able to experience, like as far from like a culture perspective, seeing different like views and different types of people and places that I wouldn't have gotten if I was just living in a small town in Oklahoma. And I don't even think that Gene realized it at the time, like how much of a great impact that would have on my life, just being able to like have a perspective of like knowing that there's like so much more out there, like, you know, early 2000s or whatever, there's not like the internet or anything for kids to, you know, see. There's a lot of things that we did, you know, he took us all fishing all the time, like, you know, I would go with them to the jobs, and then I would like fake getting sick because I wanted to stay home. Like he would try to drag me to these jobs as like an 8 or 9 year old. Yeah. So like I would like come up with Caitlin or I would come up with a way for me to just pretend to be sick so that I could stay home and play video games with her and Jared. So that I didn't have to like go to the jobs and sit with them while they were working. So
I'm not that mad, you weren't that much help anyway.
So we did this a lot.
No, you're not.
So I think there was like one summer, I think it was like 2004, that I'd come out and there was this big, like, you know, he was friends with Lit, the band. And,
He never had you there because he knew you there. He had you there
because he wanted to spend time with me, you know, but I just, you know, was a kid and wanted to play video games. Anyways, so there's a really special moment that Gene, you know, he took all of us to see Lit play at the San Diego Zoo for like, I don't know if there's some sort of carnival going on, but they were playing at the zoo. I'd never been to a concert before, so, you know, that was my very first concert, and he like took us up really close, and then like at one point he took me and Caitlin up, like, because it was like the San Diego Zoo, so I guess it was like a free concert. So he just like took me and Caitlin up, and he got all up there, and like was just like, you know, enjoying live music. That was really my first experience with live music, which ended up shaping like a lot of, you know, who I am today with how much music means to me and how much I go to concerts and everything else, and just like having that experience with Gene meant a lot to me. Yeah. Obviously, like growing up apart, I didn't get as much time as a kid that, you know, his kids got, but every time we got together, he would always tell me, you know, I wish I had more time to spend with you and your mom, because he really loved my mom. Your mom was like a second mother to him in a lot of ways, because whenever he was growing up, my mom was there with my dad, before he had moved out here to California, so he really loved my mom, and she couldn't be here today because she's going through stuff, but she really loved my mom, and he really loved her. So, you know, say that. He'd always tell me how much he loved me and how much he wanted to spend more time with me, and like work and life would always get in the way. You know, he always hugged my neck like said and told me how much he loved me. Really, just like provided a lot of life experience to like a small kid from Oklahoma that like ended up changing my whole life. When I was in college, before I started working for Sid's company, he'd actually fly me out to the Fisher houses that they were working on in Houston or San Francisco or something, and like have me just like, you know, doing like inset or something on the floor, like just setting the waterproofing or something, and then he'd pay for my flight and he'd pay me for coming out when I was in college, which was great. So yeah, just super impactful in a lot of ways in my life in particular, and all of our lives here. It shows that you're all here today. So thank you for coming. You really appreciate it.
Thank
you. Anybody else?
No one else? You want to speak? Okay. Oh, yeah. I'll sit down.
My name's Steve Houston. A lot of you guys know me, Big Steve.
Met him when I was 19. Always a hard worker, very meticulous with everything that he ever gave or taught us. For instance, like you're running a cut and you knew you broke the cut and messed it up and you're trying to do it fast before you beat you know, just always made us hone our trade. Work was a good thing and a bad thing, you know, struggle, you know, but that's work, you know. And he was always there to teach us and show us the way. Outside of work, amazing guy, lots of shows, lots of good times, you know, punk rock shows, watching you guys all go to shows and come to work, which is amazing. The punk rock pro-ams where we're all, it went from like 1 year to 5 years, we were just thrashing the golf course where they eventually either stopped them or kicked us all out of there. Now it's just, you know, going to hang out with bands and just having a good time, cutting loose, working hard, playing hard. The guy was the epitome of like, you know, the dirty hands, clean money. The guy worked hard for everything he ever had, and everything he gave us. I had a good friend of mine, oh, I need a trade, what do I do, you know? Well, I got a guy that needs a good helper. You know, they're a match made in heaven, I guess, you know? They still, wow. To this day, one of the best adventures I ever had, everybody knows he liked to fish, he had a couple good boats that, you know, they were always projects. It was me, his cousin Johnny, and our buddy Morgan. We're fishing all day, and you're 20 years old out on the ocean, and you're like, yeah, you're gonna go back in. Whenever we go back in, you don't think about the boat's not gonna work. Boat didn't work, fired up, try this. And then a couple other times, but he always got it running, but that time he didn't. It was a Friday, and I remember us getting towed in. I remember it's kind of cold and tripping, but it was like everybody could hear, like, you know, the stadium's going off at the park, and I think it was a Scorpions concert. So it was like surreal because we fished all day, and everybody's like, oh, but you could hear everybody else partying. In the end, it wasn't that bad, you know, we got towed in. Everybody's caught fish. It was a good time, but you know, like, it's one of those memories that will always stick that you can never get back, you know. But, you know, he worked hard until he couldn't, and that's one of my regrets is I couldn't, you know, get on another job and laugh because that was some of the, say, worst memories, best memories, you know, growing up and learning the trade and being with you guys. And, you know, there's a couple of us other knuckleheads that, like, we all grew up together with Gene, these guys. So, say I love you guys. You guys ever need anything, we're all here.
Thank you, Steve. That was great word.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, to you kids, family members, Gene was so great. He's a really great guy. Breaks my heart that he's not with us today, but I see him in all of you. It's really moves me a lot. And hearing your stories, there are a lot of people that look out for you in life, help you when you're not doing well, give you an opportunity. He's always helping everybody.
Amen.
You know, we worked with him and for years, and I said, when did you meet him? I don't even know when. It's a long time ago, but I do remember on every job, he helped everyone. If the load was, you know, came in, lumber, you name it. Guy was strong as an ox.
I would be yelling at him. I'd be like, come on, man, let's get this tile done. Don't worry about those guys.
And he's like, you know, take a beat. Let's go help these guys unload the doors,
I
the
can't-
windows, or the wood, or.
I can't tell you how many things I've learned about other trades because of him being that way.
And just he's a good, you know, the bigger message. He's a good person. You know, he's a good person, and he had everybody has issues and problems, but he was always wanting to help others. You know,
You'd give the shirt off his back.
Yeah, super. You can't say that about everybody,
Mm-mm.
you know. But Gene was always on site, helping everybody because he wanted to, not because he didn't want to set his tile. Because obviously he was great at that. Super talented, smart guy, one of our smartest tradesmen ever. But it's because he wanted to help other people. He's a helper. Obviously, I'm hearing that today. Taught you guys things that no one else tried to tell you when you were younger. And that's special. It's because he was strong. He's a strong person, super confident, but so loving. And I have great memories of Gene, so appreciate you guys having this for us.
Thank you
So
for
I
being
have
here.
it even more, you know?
I have one story I have to tell you.
Yeah, she's a storyteller.
You love
Do
the
you remember
story.
the Fisher House? I think his first one held. Anyway.
I wasn't there, now Greg
Well,
was.
the truck got
I know.
stopped at Camp Pendleton for being overweight.
I know this story.
And we needed to make that sailing on Saturdays. So we said, well, I had a week program, but anyway. So it stuck. It was Labor Day weekend. Good luck trying to find anybody to unload. And you know, Tony was really good. he weighed everything. I mean, he helped load the trucks. But what none of us knew is they weigh it by the axle. So the whole truck was good, but the front axle was bad.
Wow.
So now, holiday weekend where you go to the truck. Anyway, I found out Mark Martin's truck, that his container, it was at his shop in Poway, called the company. I said, okay, I know where you got an empty trailer. It's in Poway. Can you get it up to Pendleton and we'll just do whatever we gotta do. So we got that part done. And then I said, I guess we're spending the afternoon loading and unloading the truck. He called 2 people to come and help us do that. Rabbit was one of them, and your dad was the other one. And we're trying to figure out, can't get a forklift to load these things up and down, what are we gonna do? Your dad brought his truck, he's gonna put it in between the 2 of them, a little bit
You always
more,
had an
and we're
idea.
just gonna luckily the truck driver, he had better ideas. Tell you what, he said, you guys jump in the back of that container, I'll back you right up to it, and you can just walk it right over.
across.
And they did. And you know what, Tony, I never lifted a finger. Tony never had to lift a finger. In a half an hour, they had enough stuff moved that they could, both the trucks could go, they'd go on their way up to LA.
Handled it.
That's
We
enough.
missed that sailing, but luckily we had a week program doing that, so our schedule's good, but that's, so now those 2 are up building things for God in heaven.
I feel like taking a
That's
break
right.
for once.
That's right.
You know? Things, oh, I know.
Yeah, and I have to say, the other thing I want to say about your dad, had a lot of title centers in almost 49 years of having a company. He was hands down the best, most creative title setter I have ever known.
Smartest.
And that thing that you said about the math over there, that's because if you want to lay tile, you better know your math.
Right.
Because you make that first cut and you put that first tile on the floor, that's the layout.
Yeah.
And it better be right, or you can be in big serious trouble.
Absolutely.
No Dutch voice.
Yeah, yeah, pet peeve. He really was so creative. You know, not only with his tile work, but his granite work. I mean, I have, when we did the granny flat at our house for my mom 27 years ago, he did all that work.
Yeah.
So all around my house.
I know. I remember it all. I remember it all.
Yeah, and he's just a great guy. You guys, you got big shoes to fill. But I
He
can
told me
tell-
before, he said he went and saw your mom.
He did.
And he couldn't believe that she was still.
Well, she'll be 105 in 2 weeks. Anyway, you guys got big shoes to fill, but I can tell from listening and everything I saw. It's like I always said with Tony, when he left, he gave us big shoes to fill, but what I didn't realize at the time, he gave us everything we needed to do that. I can tell.
He did.
Yeah, I guess that's.
He did.
By being hard on you.
He gave me all the resources and tools and people I ever could have done. That's for sure.
God bless him.
And you love Tony so much too, so I like to think that they're hanging out up there,
That's
taking a little break.
Find a good fishing hole.
Yeah, that's right. You get some good tuna. Absolutely.
Good
For
memories.
sure.
Good memories.
Thanks for being here.
Great life.
Anybody else? He worked with us for a little while.
Definitely one of the best things we've done together.
You're around, you were really around a lot when you were little too,
Yeah, definitely. Definitely winging it though, so I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning partying, so like he probably would have wanted me to do.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
He would want to be celebrated, I feel like. you know,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so he just, helped me work really hard, If I remember lost or whatever, working hard is really important. So, I just, you introduced me to good people, so it's like when I find myself lost, not knowing what to do at work, is now, he just knew kind of anything about anything and everything, So, like starting working on cars, it's a new thing for me, so I just kind of picked it up, like this is new, but, I always think about that, my family works hard, if they can do it, I can do it, or, keep the name going, So, yeah, it was just cool. Like, you taught my dad, tile, so that was really awesome. And, sorry, I wasn't really prepared to come up here and do this.
Oh, it's all good. No, good. That's all right.
You liked you around, you know?
That's really important.
Sometimes I would get pissed off.
I know.
He liked you around.
It's always tough. It's always tough love. It's always tough love. I always loved it. It's all at the end of the day. It's always love. So it was, it was nice. Now that he's gone, it sucked, but he always left behind something really great. You worked really hard, even though it was, Tile isn't that he brought you on. With Tile, but you could start doing other things that he probably would have loved to do to himself. So, and he was really proud of you, and you too kept, kept the legacy going. So that's really awesome. But
Yeah,
I know. And every time I'm at work, it got a little crazy sometimes. I catch myself doing it at work too with these guys because I'll be working a little harder and I'm just like, man, what are these guys doing? I'm like, can you get back to work or something, So it's just like, I was like, that rubbed off on me a little bit, I think, But, when you see it, even though, I didn't get too far into the Tile, kind of more with the laminate flooring, flush stuff like that, you know what I mean? But just seeing that, you know what I mean? It's, it was motivating, it didn't feel so lost. I was like, I know my place is gonna be somewhere in construction somewhere, so it's really good to think about, either he left that or he definitely left something good. We always want to leave something good behind, and he was good. He was a good man, definitely. So, I had something more to say, but it's jumbled in there somewhere. So,
You did good, bro.
Love calls for open mic. I will close this out then. So I do have some words to share. A lot of you might be wondering, did I ever go to work? And I did. I was definitely also put to work. Learned my fair share of tile setting, but mostly I took care of the sponges. I had the job of rinsing, squeezing all the water out of the sponges. Super complicated job, but you know what? Like my brothers too. I think it just instilled in us. We all have that really strong, value that you have to work hard for pretty much anything in life, but especially for the life that you want to be able to provide yourself and the people around you and the people you love. And that looks like is everyday, daily routine work is something's not done unless it's done right. And until it's done right, it's not done. And it's that loop. And that's the loop that our dad had us on. And even, mopping up little, dirt.
Do it right or don't do it at all.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of really learn those things through, and even to your point about the creativity. I remember when I was 20, I went with him to a Fisher house, and it was kind of, I was old enough, to kind of understand the craft, and I had been studying art in school, and just seeing him working, I was like, wow, he's so talented. Yeah, the precision and the craft that goes into that, and the math. I mean, it's so much that goes into creativity, right? You have to have a vision, you have to know how to approach it, you have to know how to make it, you have to.
It's a fair amount of math. It's not as much as you might think, but.
You have to, okay, I couldn't do math, so to me it's a lot of math, right? Yeah, so, anyway, I just wanted to say that, but, thank you all for being here today. My dad was definitely, as everyone has said, a special person. He loved to help people. He was generous sometimes to a fault. Where I wish people were more generous to him as well. But, I think he would be here today and he would be so happy seeing, who the people are that are in his life. I told my brothers, and I think people have kind of echoed this throughout today, but I told my brothers, I think looking at them, my older brother I just look at him and I see the person that I wish, or that I think my dad wished he could always be. If he could have his life go exactly the way it had planned out, it would be where Jeff is today. And I think he's so proud to be able to see where you were. And Jared, like, I think you're everything that he thought he couldn't be. One of the stories that he would tell us when we were little kids is that before he moved out to California, because, you know, we're Native American and Jared's getting a lot of you know, support and opportunity through our heritage on his side because of that. But he told us, you know, when we were young, you know, I actually had a full ride scholarship to go to the University of Oklahoma, but I wanted to go to California. You know, like I wanted to just go and like, you know, just be adventurous like he was. And so I think him seeing Jared do that, I think, you know, and both of you, you know, who he really wished he could be and who he never thought he could be, and that's the greatest gift. And I think the greatest thing that my dad could have ever left behind for me, and I think for everyone, I told him is just who my brothers are and who he brought them to be in my life. So, you know, my dad and I, we were more alike, I think, than we like to admit. We were both stubborn and we both were very passionate people. But I'm just thankful, you know, for the brothers that he put beside me to help care for me in the ways that he was able to as well. So with all of that, I just wanted to share and close things out on a verse and a short reflection. This is 2 Corinthians 4:16-17. So we do not lose heart, though our outer self is wasting away, our inner self is being renewed day by day. For this light, momentary affliction is preparing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. And that's just a message to the early church, you know, who was facing persecution, and just the reminder, you know, in light of the recent revelation that they had that Jesus came to die for our sins, that, you know, these are light momentary afflictions. We go through all these things in life, and some of them are fun and some of them aren't, and then we have big moments like this that are so painful. But in the weight of it, or in contrast with it, we have to remember that, you know, it is preparing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. And I think that, you know, I just find hope in that. And I just want to leave it there. You know, I think through all, there's just, there's a lot of glory to, you know, at all of the pain, you know, there's just so many people here affected. So, yeah, I'm done.
And I understand the pizza is here.
Smell it.
Awesome.
Yeah, there are stacks of pizzas over there.
Yeah.
I could smell them at first. Drew my. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our service. Thank you for being here once again.
Thank you.
Yes.